We are back for your All Things Forward party check-in tonight with Mia on Mia's birthday. Happy birthday, Mia.
Thank you, thank you. October 25th. I am a Scorpio.
Uh-oh. Is that
Yes,
what's that mean?
jack and shit. But
I
um
agree.
supposedly I'm supposed to be mysterious and stuff. I'm not that.
Yeah, a
I'm
lot
not.
of
I'm
vague
pretty
terms
open.
get thrown up. They throw a lot of vague terms on that stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
I,
yeah,
I like
so I
Scorpion's description as loyal. That's one I do well. That's about it.
yeah.
But I think everybody likes to think of themselves as loyal. So that's again on that whole vague.
Well, if you're not loyal, you're probably mysterious. Like it's one of the two's gonna hit you.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'd like to start off tonight kind of talking about Andrew Yang's book party or book tour has been going on and where he's been and where you guys can see him at next. So this prior week, he started off the week at Denver Comedy Works, and then he went to San Francisco's Cobb Theater or Comedy Club, I mean, and then he went to Irvine Improv yesterday. And Ryan Otagawa actually sent me a couple pictures from there. Um, and then this week he'll be in Des Moines on the 27th, which is Wednesday. That's his last one on this page. But he did announce on Twitter that he will be doing more. Here's the tweet. Whoop, let me zoom in. Yes, we are having such a blast on the hashtag forward tour that we're going to add more dates. Stay tuned at andrew.com for more. Of course, people got some selfies here. I love seeing those. A packed house too, man. I love it. Um, but yeah, so I will let you guys know when I find out. I'm actually, I keep knocking on the door of these people that know some things about where he'll be going on next because I definitely want to go to another one and live stream it and take more photography and videography for you guys.
If something happens to come within 2 to 3 hours of Cadillac, Michigan, I could probably even go.
Yes, ma'am.
That would be
That'd be really
a
awesome.
dream.
Well, how far away is Detroit?
I think probably closer to 4 hours. I could maybe squeeze that one.
Mm-hmm.
The difficulty is Tristan is if he has a breakdown, he's a two-person job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're in town, somebody can be there. It's
Mm-hmm.
coordination. It's all
Yeah.
about that. And how can we make sure Tristan is covered in
Yeah.
case of the worst case scenario?
Well, I think the closest he'll come to northern Michigan is probably Detroit or maybe Green Bay, but I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think that's even a real good option.
It might be kind of
Um,
hard for me to get to one of them if it's like that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we'll see.
We'll work on it. At least you got the book coming, good to go. At least you got that much done.
Oh yeah.
And but yeah, so we will definitely keep you guys up to date on any new dates added to his website. I'll be checking that daily just to see. I'm sure I'll be notified on one of our group DMs of the people in the know. That'll know quicker. They'll let me know as soon as it's up, probably. Um, but yeah, if any of you guys got to go to any of those four stops, Denver, San Francisco, Irvine, all that good stuff, please tag the Trickle Up, tag me or Mia on the thing, and we would be able to share that and let everybody's like share where you were when you got the picture with them and stuff like that. And if you got your book signed and stuff like that, you got Elizabeth here in the comments. She's also in Michigan. She's in Detroit. Be great. Absolutely. If he comes to Detroit and it's a weekend, oof, it depends on my work schedule now. If I can make half these places anymore, but I'll do my best as well. But yeah, so he's been making his circuit around the country, and he also made a stop on Bill Maher, and he's talking about Dave Chappelle and this transphobic, a trans what trans community pushback on accusations of Dave Chappelle being transphobic. Um, and Bill Maher actually asked a bunch of questions about him and this other guest, and I want to show you guys kind of what Dave or Andrew had to say about this whole thing, and kind of show you guys this little snippet of what he did here. Okay, here we go.
Will, Bill, you've been a comedian. Being a comedian seems like a really, really tough job. I think we can agree that comedians' primary role is to entertain. and it's sometimes to make us think. But no one thinks it's a comedian's role to tell us how to think or what to think. And attributing that role to Dave or any other comedian doesn't serve art, the artist, or society at all.
Well, I mean, I was going to read some of these reviews. I'm just going to read this one from NPR. It's because the reviews from the critics so at variance with the audience. Rotten Tomatoes, that's a amalgam of reviews. I think in this case 7. His special got a 43%. Audience 95.
And that kind of sums it up for me in that clip. The critics 43% approved, the audience 95%. Which is typical of this knee-jerk reaction, this I don't know, man, hyperbolic kind of reactionary stuff.
I gotta say, for me, I was not a fan of that joke, but it's not like it's something I'm gonna stomp my feet about either. It just didn't hit home for me. It's okay
Right.
not to get somebody's humor or not to appreciate a specific joke.
Yeah.
Don't take it too seriously. Move on, generally speaking, is my way of dealing with it.
Well, my thing is just when it comes to censorship in every form, I'm anti-censorship. So if for anybody to tell someone else, so for anybody else to tell someone else how to handle their business, you're on thin ice already. It's not your business. If it hurts people's feelings or triggers people or whatever, it's valid critique, but it doesn't mean that it should be canceled across the board. Because think about it from Netflix's point of view, they've invested millions of dollars. They're not just going to stop it. I mean, just get real, be realistic with your pushback. And then they're asking people, the people that are making demands, are saying, okay, don't cancel it, but instead take the same money you invested in this special, in Dave Chappelle, the greatest comedian of all time, give some other people the exact same financial investment because they fit into a certain label. I just don't understand that. I agree that there should be more pro LGBTQ content. I have zero problem with that at all. Because guess what? I don't have a problem with any content. Guess if I don't like it, I don't fucking watch it. That's the whole thing about censorship. Turn the fucking channel. And I'm saying this like this because I'm fucking Gen X still. We used to actually turn a knob to turn channels.
Hey, I was there.
Yeah.
The 80s still had knobs.
Well, technically our knob,
TVs, but they were there.
Our remote was technically needle nose pliers because the cheap TVs, the handles broke off. But this is a huge pushback, and Netflix is standing by Dave Chappelle, and I understand the pushback, and it's not as fun. It's not his best material as far as I'm concerned. He's been funnier, but they all can't be home runs either. He's just setting up a premise for a joke and make you think. But I don't know, man. This is kind of the climate where this culture we're in right now, this climate of if you don't like it, you can get it taken off of the airwaves. This doesn't make sense to me. I'm not.
The actual thing is, not a lot of stuff actually ends up getting taken off due to this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The level you have to be at to actually end up having a real impact other than just people crying about it online. And people crying online can make a really big, loud whatever, but it doesn't really represent anything.
Well, I think intent matters too. I don't think his intent is to harm people. It's intent to make you laugh, make you think. We
all have different places where we draw the line. And I think that that's all we're seeing. And because we can see everybody's reaction, we think that means that everybody's reacting the same way. No, just most people aren't commenting because they don't care. So the people you hear commenting have extreme opinions on it because otherwise they wouldn't be commenting.
Right.
They just move on to whatever the next thing is. And that's pretty much every conversation that exists on the internet.
That's every fire on the internet.
Yes.
It pisses me off today and I'll forget about it tomorrow.
The only people talking about it are the people who are specifically upset about it. Or, specifically want to defend the person who the other people are upset at. So the only people talking are the people who want to fight.
Yeah, and like I said, it's all about, to me, comedy has its own special thing where if you go to a comedy show, you have to expect the unexpected. Comedians are there to push the boundaries. To Because here's the thing about humor, guys, jokes are at someone's expense. No matter what the joke, it's at someone's expense. So sometimes it's at your expense. When he makes fun of white people, that's me. Like I don't take offense to it. If he makes fun of women or a politician or a political party or a music video, a hip hop artist, he makes fun of everything. He makes fun of black people, Mexican, Asian. His wife's Asian, for crying out loud, I believe, and I think she's Filipino. But like, all humor is at someone's expense in a way.
For the most part, at least. I mean, Mang Spider does a really good job of being funny without hurting my feelings, but
Yeah, but stand up specifically is telling a story, for the most part. But yeah, so if you're going to a comedy show, you have to have some thicker skin. If you're gonna turn on Dave Chappelle on Netflix, you got to come with a different point of view. You can't go there to be offended, because he said things in the past that's kind of making fun of the LGBTQ community. Where he calls them the alphabet mafia in one of his other specials, and he's like, I'm cool with the L's, the B's, the Q's, and he goes, but not the T's. The T's hate my fucking guts. That's his whole point. Was his joke was saying that the T's hate him more than anybody else or whatever because of jokes. And it's this reoccurring theme he keeps going back to. I think he's just stubborn. It's like, fuck you. I got 10 more jokes just like it. But it's just become this thing where you have to expect the unexpected, and damn sure going to expect him to be pushing back because he's the greatest of all time. And like Hardy had in the comments mentioned, man, George Carlin vibes for sure. George Carlin is top 3 for me as well. Him and Dave Chappelle are probably top 2 for me. Other than that is Lenny Bruce. And Mitch Hedberg.
Top 3 for me still, yeah.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle, Mitch Hedberg, and George Carlin are my favorites.
I'm more of a fan of comedic writers than I am of like stand-up comedians. So I like Dan Harmon a lot, like the guy who wrote Community and Rick and Morty, and that's good stuff. But
yeah,
that's just a different taste. I'm not a big stand-up person.
Well, I actually tried stand-up for like a year in college and stuff, so I have a little more respect for it, because I know it's fucking tough to write a joke. Something original has been said before for a different angle. It's not easy.
Oh yeah, and then to say it in front of an audience, you don't necessarily know who the heck's in that audience. I mean,
and some jokes don't work in some places. Sometimes they kill. How do you roll the punches? Like, would Dave Chappelle complain because somebody didn't laugh at his jokes? I mean, seriously. Hey, that's funny, you son of a bitch. Like, it's a two-way relationship between the audience and the comedian. So, but yeah, you got Ariel down here saying, what's up, and he's not a sheep. Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, so that's been kind of the big thing where everybody's asking Andrew about Dave Chappelle now because of their relationship, and I think Andrew kind of flushed out real clearly. It's not his job.
There's another good clip from the Bill Mayer one. They also talked about the third party stuff. I put it in the chat.
Oh, you did?
That I found on Twitter.
Okay, let me copy that and we'll open that up over here.
This is the third party pitch.
Okay, let's see here.
Third party. They've never worked. Trump and Biden now are at 40-40 in the polls. So you want to really be Ralph Nader, who throws the election to Donald Trump?
First, let me say I'm focused on what's already working in some parts of the country. What do I mean? Lisa Murkowski is the only Republican senator who voted to impeach Donald Trump, who's also up for re-election in 2022. Her approval rating among Alaskan Republicans now stands at 6%. That's why so Republicans are willing to stand up and disagree with Trump. But Alaska last year changed its process from party primaries, where Senator Murkowski would be subject just to the 10 to 20% most partisan voters in Alaska, who would be Republican in this case, to open primaries and ranked choice voting, which allows the senator to appeal to 50.1% of the general public.
But short of that, you wouldn't have a third party.
Well, so if the plan is to try and line up our legislators' incentives with us, as opposed to the 10 to 20% most extreme partisans that right now control the agenda and are leading both polarization to rise and also for compromise to be completely anathema in Congress, you have to make this happen on the state-by-state level in red, purple, and blue states. And you can't do that as a member of a current party.
Just let me show you. I have a picture from 2004 of Michael Moore and myself. We were begging Ralph Nader not to run and throw the election to George W. Bush. I just don't want to have to get on my knees and do that for you, Michael Moore.
Well, Bill, first, I'm focused on 2022 because that's where the action is. That's what we have to do as much work as possible. Okay. But we are at a point in American life where 62% of Americans do want an alternative to the duopoly.
They say that.
And your argument that you made just a couple of weeks ago shows just how subject to authoritarianism our two-party system is, because if one party succumbs to bad leadership, there's no safeguard. It's terrible design. Our founding fathers would be shocked and horrified that we're dealing with this. If you look around the world, the UK, 5 parties, Germany, 7 parties, Sweden, 8 parties. And if you had that system, then if one party lost its mind, it wouldn't be an existential threat, because you have to get 3 other parties.
But we have to change the system to run in that
system. And that is the mission.
There it is.
Man.
People don't get it. He tells you, I'm not running, you dumb fucks. Ranked choice voting, open primaries. End of fucking story. It's just that simple.
And he's so thick about it, too.
I'm not a big fan of Bill Maher. He's kind of snarky. Well, yeah, no, blah, blah, blah. You're going to like Trump. Trump isn't even running for office. Trump's not in the running either. But they've already granted him the crown. Like, it's so short-sighted and shallow. It's about as deep as a puddle. It's so just lazy. Just lazy.
And the important thing there is they don't even listen. You could hear him just continuing to power through Andrew Yang's words straight back to his other talking point, as if he hadn't already addressed what he was talking about, and just keep on repeating himself like a broken record. Like he can't wrap his brain around the idea that somebody's not doing something the way he thinks that they're doing it. No, it's different. It's not what you think it is. It's not. Accept that and move on to a different talking point. You're wasting your time.
Well, Bill Maher's got plenty of time to waste because he's one of the elites. He's one of the rich and famous, and he has this recurring segment. And so he has this weird little podium he sits behind and rants and raves the same old bullshit, highbrow, snarky, elitist kind of point of view.
Oh, God. And when he said, oh, they say they want that. Yeah, we fucking want, my apologies. We definitely want that.
Say what the fuck you want, me. It's your birthday, goddammit.
My birthday, and we fucking want a third party.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, 62%, man. That's a big number.
Yeah.
Hard to get 62% of people to agree on anything, except for like maybe legalization of marijuana and universal basic income and like Medicare for all. And yet none of that's being thrown at Congress.
Actually quite a bit, but we don't focus on it, and they don't want us to focus on it, because when we focus on what we agree on, things could actually happen, and then they might have to actually do something other than sit there and fight with each other.
Mess up their power dynamic. They can't have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Andrew did tweet out that he will be adding more dates to the tour. He just said stay tuned, right? And so that's kind of where we're stuck at now. So he did the Bill Maher thing, and I think he's going to be going on H3 again pretty soon too, I believe. And then there's
on there with them.
Yeah, then there's an article in the New Yorker about running forward party candidates, and so it's asking I think it's a Q&A with Andrew. Is it right, Mia?
That is the case. Yes, I picked out some of the
yeah, so let me bring this. I'll bring this up to you guys so you can kind of see. So some of the highlights here is so the idea would be great. It would be to get Democrats and Republicans to sign up for the Forward Party's agenda, not to run candidates in the Forward Party, to challenge Democrats and Republicans. And this is Andrew's answer. Having someone run on the Forward Party line would be deeply impractical in the vast majority of districts around the country. We're going to be supporting candidates who support these principles. I'm sure the vast majority of them are going to be running as Democrats or Republicans because that's much more realistic. Duh. And then their questions. And so your advice to people is stay a Republican or stay a Democrat, but also join the Forward Party. He says, yes, that's right. If you're not one of the in those two parties and you just want some new party to emerge, open primaries or ranked choice voting is a way to make it more possible. Again, it sounds like he's just, repeating himself over and over and over about this stuff, but that's what he's got to do. Just like universal basic income, he had to say the exact same thing 1,000 times.
You got to drive that wedge in because people don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
They've already got their preconceived notions of what they think you're trying to do, and they will try and force you back into that box. They'll try and word you back into that box and try to get you to say something that's going to put you into that box.
Yep.
And you just keep saying the same thing over and over again. Good job, Andrew. I know you're probably not watching this, but good job anyways.
Man,
good
I
job,
can't imagine how frustrated he must get to you're being invited on to share your point of view and then talked over your point of view. I get very frustrated with that too. That's why I like long form discussions. He gets there's plenty of air in the room to breathe, to really hammer out the topics and not have Bill Maher trying to get his jabs in his 7-minute segments. And the other guests, he kind of went to him more than Andrew on anything. But yeah, so he's making this tour. He's making his rounds. Hopefully he's adding more book tour stuff. And then, oh yeah, also guys, if you see Andrew on a podcast on a YouTube channel, if you see him on Bill Maher or The View or whatever, please DM me and let me know about it because I'll try and get that up on the YouTube channel, and we'll bring it up and we'll talk about it more. We'll share that stuff out to get it more, I guess say press and recognition. Try and boost that stuff, So definitely hit me up in a DM if you see something we're not covering or you haven't seen our YouTube channel. I'm off today and tomorrow, so I can actually do some work like that to upload some videos on the YouTube channel. Yeah, so it's kind of, I'm just trying to do what I can on the days I have available to upload all this stuff, but the last thing we got on here, guys, is where's this article from, Mia? The other one about the moving beyond GDP? You're muted.
That's from National Public Radio. The original comment that's highlighted there is from the Forward Party itself. They tweeted this article out, and I thought that it was relevant again to the conversations we've been having.
Okay, so the Forward Party's tweet was hundreds of thousands died from the opioid epidemic and pharmaceutical companies made billions. A system that's really killing people and we're counting that money as part of the GDP, that's got to be crazy. That's the Nobel Prize winning Princeton economist Angus Deaton. And then this is actually from one of the articles that guy wrote. And he's actually I read this. It was actually really good. It says earlier this month, a group of economists gathered at the annual meeting of the American Economic Association to discuss the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis. And for over 75 years, been tracking GDP, gross domestic product, We know what that means. Okay. The economists who were speaking at the panel called Beyond GDP made clear they think this is a huge mistake. GDP misses a lot. It doesn't, for instance, count the cooking, cleaning, and child rearing done in households. It doesn't count the value of people's health or clean environment. It doesn't pay attention to the distribution of income or wealth. It doesn't pay attention to quality of life. Sounds familiar. Sounds very, very familiar to a 2020 Stump speech I heard a couple hundred times. And this is actually a good quote from RFK, which is actually a good one. It says, this is Robert Kennedy. He says, this isn't the first time the GDP has come under attack. After he announced his candidacy for president in 1968, Robert F. Kennedy railed against GDP in one of his first speeches. And this is a quote from him. It counts air pollution as cigarette advertising and ambulances to clear our highways of carnage. Kinney said. It counts jails, napalm, nuclear warheads, and the loss of natural wonder and chaotic sprawl. Yet he said it did not pay attention to the health of our children, the quality of their education, or the joy of their play. It measures everything in short except that which makes life worth living. I mean, that's damn near goosebumps right there. Because I mean,
That's the whole pitch.
Robert Kennedy is probably the most human-centered guy in that whole fucked up family. You know, so this goes to show you guys this is nothing new.
We
we've
have
had
known
we've
the
got
GDP is a problem for a while.
absolutely.
In fact,
And-
Andrew, in his pitch about the American Square Card,
Yes.
likes to talk about how the GDP was originally the guy who made it was like, we should not be using this as like a system of evaluating like how the health of our economy is doing. That's not what this is for.
Well, it only measures the economy, doesn't measure the well-being of the country and the people in it, you know. So yeah, it's kind of crazy that we're still measuring with that. But I just love to see that people in the past have still been. And guess what happened to Robert Kennedy? They shot his ass too. And he's one of the most peaceful, humanistic politician in that family.
Yeah, the Kennedys we've got left over certainly aren't as
I think Robert was the best of them. You know, honestly, he's actually seemed to be a very compassionate guy, but he never got into power either. So we don't know really what he's made of, because a good speech doesn't mean a good leader. Unfortunately, we've seen that too many times with many other clowns we've elected in many other places.
And we know the story of power and corruption and just how easy
absolutely.
that slope is.
Oh yeah, and we got Alina. Yeah, we've already looked at his schedule. His last stop is this week on Wednesday, and where did I say it was going to be at?
Des Moines,
Iowa. Yeah, Des Moines, Iowa. So, but he did tweet out that looking for more. You know, we're going to be updating as they add to it. Yeah. But yeah. So as of right now, you guys, that's kind of it, man. Andrew's still on the trail, or the tour, I guess you call it, not the trail, but the tour. If any of you guys get to go to one of his events, please send us a picture, tag us on Twitter, whatever. I would love to do like a collage of all the people that got selfies. I took a lot of good ones when I was in Chicago, though. I ain't gonna lie. I got a good moment of him like hugging this one supporter, had her old school math hat on. I had another picture of somebody who came with smart people should, what does it say? Smart, his first book?
Smart people should build things.
Should build things. And he had all 3 books there to get signed at the same time. Ooh. I say, no, that's a fan. Like he gets it. And I met some people that have never been to a Yang event yet. That's their first time meeting them and everything. That's pretty cool to see. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, Indiana doesn't seem like fertile ground for Andrew Yang personally, but maybe Indianapolis. You know, he's going to metropolises, you know, big cities to get a full house, you know. So that's why I think Detroit might be a good one for him to add, because he does have a history in Detroit. I think probably like Philly, good comedy town. And maybe Ohio, like Cleveland, Ohio, I think might be a good spot. Or Akron, where they had the what do you call it? The debates were over in Akron. No, it wasn't Akron. It's Dayton, Ohio, where he had the debates were at. But yeah, I think he's gonna be going to metropolises, you know, big cities. This ain't some rinky-dink thing.
Yeah, so, Ohio's actually got several places he could hit. There's Columbus, there's Youngstown, I used to live in Ohio, and boy,
yeah,
they call themselves the heart of it all for a reason, and mostly just because all the trucks intersect there.
Yeah, kind of like Iowa. They're like the Iowa of the East Coast. But yeah, I think Pennsylvania makes sense. You know, Philly makes sense. I think a stop in Florida would make sense. Honestly, yeah. Like he should go to like Orlando. I think he should go to
definitely a place that could use some of his divide healing as well.
Maybe even like, I would even say like Austin, Texas, where it's a very purplish state. Georgia. I would even, there's a lot of there's not any bad places for him to go, but I think high priority would be those types of places. But I'm sure they might have some like book sale information that might help him know where he should go. You know what I mean? So we don't have all the information he has either. So, let me see here. Lonesome Lenny says it's going to be an uphill battle in this political climate. Of course. Well, it's impossible in the current system. It's impossible. That's why the focus is in 2022, ranked choice voting, open primaries. And it gives us a chance to get open primaries and that on the ballot so you can have ranked choice voting and third parties could run. Now, the big challenge is if you live in a state that does not have direct democracy, that's where you need to be doubling down and challenging the shit out of everything to say, hey, we want this too, we want access.
As far as it being an uphill battle goes, that's the way they've designed it. They want to block us from changing anything. That's the whole point. Yeah. So every time somebody says something is hard and, oh gosh, it's hard, that's not a reason not to do something. That's a reason to do it. There is somebody standing in your way on purpose, trying to stop you from fixing something. Like metaphorically deck them. Get them out. Move.
Yeah.
And the only way we can do that is as a team, working through these weird side projects, applying political pressure in ways that they don't expect us to.
Yep. I'm trying to find this map that kind of shows, damn it, where'd that map go I used to use?
Strap on the canteen, slide on the hiking boots, and grab a walking stick. We're going all the way uphill. Yes, Hardy hat.
Yeah. So like here's these maps I've used on these things on your ballot right now. The problem is look at all the states that don't have any. No direct democracy initiatives. Okay, now the next one is this is a referendum. Now all these states have a referendum where you have to collect signatures and then take it to your state's Congress. Now they have an opportunity. They can write a bill to put up. Where you can say, hey, put this up. They got to vote on it. And if it can't get approved there, and then they put it on the docket. And then the last one is that's the recall one. Damn it. Maybe this is it. Oh, that's just a PDF. Damn it. That doesn't help either. This is how I normally find all my stuff. I just go looking. Shit. Okay, I can't find it right now. But there are places to find this thing where if your state isn't listed with direct democracy ballot initiatives, referendums, or I can't remember the name of them. There's a video on, I think it's on my channel or the Trickle Up. I can't remember, but I actually did a whole video on it. I broke it down. I think there's 27 states with different variations of it. That leaves the other
link in the description.
Yeah, I should look that up. But yeah, it's I do a deep dive on that. But here's the thing: if your state doesn't have it, you have a big battle just to get that direct democracy first. Because if your state doesn't have direct democracy, they're probably all that not forward thinking. They don't want to rock the boat. And if you get direct democracy, that cuts them out. That takes away their power. They don't like that. You think all the Republicans in Michigan want to have legalized recreational marijuana? Hell no. But we got it. And also, guys, I have a new relationship with a former NFL player that has opened a a marijuana dispensary in my area. And he's doing something very different. I wish I could talk. He asked me not to talk about, but there's some stuff he's doing that's going to combine a lot of our interests into one thing that supports marijuana. And it's going to be a couple months from now, but I am working on that and having him come on. Because we have a couple of former NFL, NBA players that are from my area that have, are back trying to do things better for this area to help us out. And now that's just something I want to really, hopefully we can get more states that have direct democracy so the people can decide. Think about Florida. Florida in 2020 elected overwhelmingly for Donald Trump, but they also at the same time elected with a direct ballot measure to increase minimum wage to $15 an hour. They wanted it for them, not for everybody else. Think about that. The cognitive dissonance is just amazing. The mental gymnastics.
Yes,
The
everything
gold
is
medal.
so backwards.
Yes,
I don't know.
bass backwards is what I call it. Hardy Hat says Indiana voted baking soda and the gasoline pump for crying out loud. Okay.
There
Well,
you go.
also the Studebaker factory down there got closed down. But yeah, we've got some work to do in all these different states. So if your state doesn't have direct democracy, find out how to get it. I can't do it all, but you guys can look it up. It's not hard to do. Talk to your local Democrat, Republican, or your elected official, whatever you want to call it.
Those of
If
you
you're
with the hardest work ahead of you, I
Mhm.
thank you for your efforts. I know
Absolutely.
that most people don't ever get thanked for this
Mm.
kind of stuff either. And
Mhm.
I know that it's odd to like get thanked through a general audience or whatever, but that's the best I can do for you.
Yeah. Well, and that's something else
Everyone
that I
deserves it though.
absolutely. That's what I liked about Andrew at the Chicago event. There was ranked choice voting for Illinois people there collecting signatures outside his event. And as he came in, I happened to be outside talking to Mark and the other photographer, and he come walking in and he saw those guys like, yes. And he said, guys, you are the reason we need these things. And he was being very, very fanboy of them and their work, And he's like, are you guys coming in? Oh, no, we don't have a ticket. Oh, I'll get you a spot. Just come on in, guys. We'll get you a free book and everything. And, he brought him in and he shouted him out during this thing. He goes about the same thing about getting ranked choice voting and open primaries. He goes, because of people like this over here, this group at this table, thank you guys very much. Everybody gave him a little ovation. And that's the least we can do. Yep. I don't know. We've got to keep pushing. Whoops. Lonesome Larry, MA is a blue state with the Trump pansies are trying to get a foothold in some areas. Well, yeah. They always want to be everywhere, but they can't be. There's just not enough of them, folks. But yeah. Oh, Mia's got a phone call. That's okay. But yeah, guys, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, let us know. But we just want to kind of just go over the basics of what's going on with the Ford Party and what we can do as individuals in our own little nooks and crannies of the world. We got to get out there and get ballot initiatives, man. If you guys have any time to volunteer for ranked choice voting, look it up in your state. There's state initiatives you can look up. Open primaries. I don't know as much about that, about how to get that through. I think if you get ranked choice voting, you'd have to have open primaries in that way, I believe. Because I mean, there's no point in having. Well, actually, there are points to it. Because like LA has open primaries, it's called a jungle primary, where there's 5 candidates. It doesn't matter what party. You can have 4 Democrats and 1 Republican, or 4 Republicans and 1 Democrat, if that's what the top 5 say. And it's all about polling, which I think is kind of sketchy because it gives the poll people the power. The duopoly has the power. We have to have open primaries. I'm not sure how that, because Michigan has open primaries, but other states don't. But yeah, we have 2 states with it right now, and several local municipalities that have it. I believe it was Denver. I think Denver has it on the ballot. Portland, Oregon. There's a lot of places with it. Yeah, so I don't know. You got anything else, Mia? I mean, that's everything we had to cover tonight.
Yeah, and it's actually already 10:02, and
it's your birthday
it's
once
my
again.
birthday. I'm gonna go. I don't know. Both hubby and eldest son are off at work. Tristan is currently pretty chill because it's 10 o'clock at night. He wandered upstairs on his own and is probably playing with his tablet for a bit. So I might play a video game.
Ayo. Me time for Mia.
Goodness. I might go on my Sims. and pretend I have money and build a pretty house.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I
Okay.
get you there. Well, I appreciate your time again, Mia, on your birthday. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Oh my goodness, I am so happy to be here on my birthday. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like
No,
this is something to do. Otherwise, I would have been sitting here napping the entire time
yeah.
through. Like 2 meetings is the only thing I had to do today. I'm so happy to be with you guys.
How do
You're
you
other family.
how do you feel about doing Mondays instead of Sundays?
Mondays instead of Sundays is fine with me if you're good at it.
Yeah, because unless I work at the casino, I can do every Monday. Just with Sundays, I have to pick up my daughter from work and all that kind of crap. That messes me up. But yeah, let's just plan on Mondays and just see how it goes. We can have fun with it, still.
Yeah. Does 9 o'clock work for you, or do you want to like move it up or anything, or
Um,
whatever works for you best?
we could try early. You want to try 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock's fine with me.
Give us a little time, long as the Tristan's cool with it. We're all cool with it, right?
Yeah, I'll make sure he's good and fed and taken care of beforehand. Get him all happy.
Lonesome Larry, first time here, dude. I really appreciate you coming, brother. I hope you hit that notification bell. We'll do it every week. And we used to do more of this during the week, but I have a second job now, so I can't do it like I used to. There's also people from Mute the Media that are on here that are doing great panel discussions and live streams. If you check out Mute the Media, also Lonesome Lenny, check out Mute the Media as well. They're great people over there doing similar stuff. But every Monday we're gonna check in. We're gonna do what's happening with the Forward Party, what's happening to Andrew Yang, ranked choice voting, any kind of updates like that we can do. And soon we're gonna be we're getting into the holiday seasons coming up now. So that means once the holiday seasons are over, campaigns are gonna pick up steam. Like I was considering running 2022. There's no way in hell I'm doing that now. I just can't. I got to make money for my kids to go to college. But other candidates going to be running for office. We got to start doing interviews with people, inviting them on here. We'll start doing that maybe weekly again. That'd be fun to do, So we'll be doing this stuff every Monday for now. But it's best just turn on your alerts. If you subscribe and turn on your alerts, it's better to get that. You'll know.
Hey boys, how would you feel about people who might want to participate in the low or the trickle up?
Yes.
Making a pitch at you, throwing you a DM?
Absolutely. Guys, of course, I got to put up my favorite banner. There's my phone number. Hit me up whenever, bitches. If you guys got an idea that you'd like to pitch, hit me up. If you guys want to see a certain guest on here that you could help make happen, hit me up. If you'd like to come on, talk about something, hit me up, because we're an open platform. I used to do a thing like almost like a call-in show where I do a live stream and invite people from the audience, just jump in with a link. And I really did enjoy that. I really did enjoy that a lot, actually. But yes, we'll be getting into that kind of flow once this campaign gets kicking. We'll start having people going to different events, and we'll be live streaming from the events all over the country, guys. We have people in our network here of people that are all over the country that can show up to a lot of places and live stream different campaigns. And if you have a candidate you'd like to see live streamed on Trickle Up, this is the place for it, guys. Especially if they don't have enough support already or media coverage. Oh, dude. Hey, Major Ojeda has been on here several times already, man. Go look at our history on the YouTube channel. You'll see he's been on here a few times for some great panels. He's a rock star. He'll be back again.
He does your veterans panel, right?
Yeah, he does all the veteran stuff with us, man. And he's got my we got each other's cell phone number. We talk, I say at least once a month. I'll just check in with him to see how he's doing. And, we call it buddy checks for the veterans. We all call each other and text each other and just make sure everybody's doing good, do a little buddy check. Which reminds me, I should do that this week with him. I haven't done that in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, Mr. Ojeda is the shit with a capital shit. He's all caps. He speaks in all caps, and I love it.
It'd be good to check in on Erica and Wendy sometime too soon. They're coming up with their
yes.
runs.
Actually, tonight I think they had a phone banking thing with Erica tonight or earlier at 8 o'clock.
Did. I wish I had 12 of me so I could divide myself into the different directions I want to move in. There's too many projects. Right. We need more. I've said this on my Twitter. I wanted to. I wish it could be a thing.
Clone yourself.
I want more aggressively helpful people.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Like,
Definitely.
get in people's faces and try to help them. I know that sounds silly, but like,
Damn it, I'm trying to help you. Yeah.
volunteering for things, or everybody's got projects, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of people don't want to be the one to help with somebody else's project. They just want to push forward their project. We need more people who are willing to be like, you know what?
To help
My
everybody.
project's not going anywhere. Or, you know, what I'm doing isn't working out. Maybe I should help somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up helping each other.
Yep.
And it's beautiful.
Yep.
Be aggressively helpful.
Aggressive. I like that. Aggressively helpful. Hashtag that shit. But yeah, guys, we'll do it again next week. So we'll plan on Monday at 8 p.m. I'll try and make a link on Sunday so you guys can get an alert for it, a notification to secure the time. We'll that way you'll know ahead of time too. But appreciate you guys. We'll try and do it again next week, and make sure you go read a book, preferably forward. All right.